It's the spookiest time of the year, mid-April. And what better way to celebrate the birds chirping and the flowers blooming than to talk about the most unnerving, the scariest characters in all of the Disney park, both real and imagined. The spirits, the ghosts, the haunts. From audio animatronics that were created in 1969 for a swinging wake, to the allegedly all too real spirits you may find sitting next to you the next time you board one of Disney's classic attractions. Get your 6-month-old trick-or-treat candy ready, turn down the lights, and light a magic candle, because now is the time when ghosts are present. Practicing their terror with ghoulish delight? Maybe. Trying to sneak in one more ride on Space Mountain before park close? That's actually more likely. This is the be-all, end-all, factually correct list of the top 10 ghosts at the Disney parks. George is the alleged specter that haunts the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction in Adventureland at the Magic Kingdom in the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida, in the United States of America, in North America, in the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the solar system. The story goes as follows. When Walt Disney World opened in 1971, it featured many popular attractions from Disneyland over in Anaheim, including the Haunted Mansion, the Jungle Cruise, and the monorail, but one attraction was absent, namely that of Pirates of the Caribbean, one of the last attractions Walt Disney himself worked on before his tragic passing in 1966. The demand was so high for an East Coast Pirates that eventually Disney did decide to build one in Adventureland, but as a result of its quick construction in order to meet guest demand, the ride itself was made shorter and lacking in a few places. And of course, a side effect of building an attraction so quickly, and it being the 70s, the safety of the construction crew was often tossed to the wayside. And while working on a little bit of welding on a tower after the ship battle scene, a construction worker named George tragically lost his footing and fell to his death. And ever since the ride opened in 1973, cast members have noticed that things would often go awry if they didn't say good morning to George when opening the attraction and good night when closing it. Even some maintenance workers would report hearing sounds, seeing strange apparitions of a man, and feeling a sense of unease and even vertigo while working in the area near the tower where he fell. One guest even managed to snap this photo of them while they were riding through the ship battle sequence with the fog everywhere due to the cannon blasts. You can sort of make out a face in between them. Maybe it could be George posing for an unforgettable ride photo. Or maybe it was just a trick of the light. I'll let you decide. Just remember though, if you want everything to go smoothly on your next journey aboard the Pirates of the Caribbean, make sure to wish George a good morning or a good evening. Or you may be in for one shocking, terrifying, and unforgettable ride. One of the scariest attractions at the Disneyland Resort that's not the swinging gondolas on the Pixar Pal-Around is of course the Haunted Mansion. Yet another classic attraction that Walt Disney himself worked on toward the end of his life. And it seems he may have liked this attraction so much that he stuck around a little while after he was gone. No, we're not talking about the Ghost Host or the Hatbox Ghost or the Beating Heart Bride. We are talking about one allegedly real spirit leaving the Haunted Mansion. As shown in this video taken in the mid-2000s, you can see what appears to be a glowing spectral figure walking down and out of the queue of the Haunted Mansion out into the rivers of America. Now this footage was long pored over by experts, analysts, and fans alike, and nobody could really find one concrete explanation to debunk it or to prove it. Maybe it was a double exposure of a guest walking around during the day. Well, no. If it was a double exposure, why did the camera only capture one guest and not the entire groups and mobs of guests that would travel through New Orleans Square during the day? Okay, then maybe it was fan-made. no, that doesn't really work either. If the footage were fan-made, how did they get the angles from the security cameras? I suppose it might have been possible getting up on top of Tarzan's treehouse with a really strong camera, but even that seems a bit too far-fetched with the multiple angles that were shown. Only two explanations remained. One, this was a genuine spirit walking the grounds of Disneyland after hours, or two, someone on the inside had made the video. But as it turned out, all we had to do for the secret to be revealed was wait, because in 2020, something happened.
Lotso Huggin' Bear gives you lots of hugs and lots of love and lots of fun, no matter where you are. All he wants is a little love, and he'll be your friend forever.
Lotso, my Huggin' Bear. I love you, Lotso Huggin' Bear.
From Huggin' Toys.
In 2010, in order to help build hype for the new movie Toy Story 3, coming soon at that point to cinemas, Disney hired filmmaker Chris Cantwell to make a vintage 80s commercial featuring the villain from Toy Story 3, Lotso. Cantwell hid the ad online amongst a bunch of other vintage commercials on this YouTube channel, right here, Mr. Crazy Commercials. The description for the video reads as follows. I totally had one of these growing up. I don't even know what happened to it. My mom probably put it in the attic. I don't like going in there, so it's as good as gone. So this Lotso commercial was created as a piece of viral marketing for Toy Story 3 by Christopher Cantwell back in 2010. And you may be asking yourself, well, that's great. I like Toy Story 3. The franchise should have ended there. But what does this have to do with the Haunted Mansion ghost? Well, it seems Christopher Cantwell was the Haunted Mansion ghost, or at least he knows who was. Now, the phrase I mentioned earlier, viral marketing, is defined as a style of promotion that relies on an audience to organically generate and push the message of a product or service, usually over social media. Viral marketing often also goes hand in hand with ARGs, or alternate reality games, where an audience, usually on social media like YouTube or Twitter, works to solve a puzzle to unlock more secrets, to solve more puzzles, to eventually get to the end, and usually watch a movie or play a video game. Famous examples include the viral marketing campaign before the Blair Witch Project, building the whole movie up as a real thing that actually happened, and my favorite ARG, built to help sort of build hype for the launch of Halo 2, I Love Bees, where at the end of the ad, the URL for Xbox.com would briefly flash to ilovebees.com, and then, of course, an entire goose chase of solving puzzles and clues both online and in the real world commenced. And so this Lotso commercial was created to help people who were kids around in the 80s think back and think to themselves, do I remember this commercial? Did I actually have a Lotso doll growing up? No, you didn't. You've been marketed to. And in a tweet following Chris's coming clean to having made the Lotso commercial, he admitted something about this old Haunted Mansion ghost video. It seems that after all this time, after all these years, we have been marketed to. Did it work? Did you go to Disneyland between 2005 and now? If you did, it's all Chris Cantwell's fault. But my friends, it doesn't stop there. Cantwell came clean to being the masterful mastermind behind all of the classic Disneyland ghost videos that you know and love. Mr. One Way, that was Chris Cantwell. Fireworks Ghost, also Chris Cantwell. The Tower of Terror Ghost, yep, you guessed it, viral marketing. They don't even test the ride like that, apparently. I wouldn't know. And I gotta say, this was really well done. A very smart way to get people talking about Disneyland, because back in those days, if you weren't around, the ghosts, the paranormal, the spooky stories regarding Disneyland were all the rage. Not even just Disneyland, all of the Disney parks. And what better way to get the young people talking about and visiting Disneyland than to say, yeah, every corner of the park, even the new corner over at California Adventure, is haunted. So if you want to do some ghost hunting and see some happy haunts on the ride and some not so happy haunts outside, head over to Disneyland. But what about George, you ask yourself? Was that just a clever piece of marketing as well? As far as I can tell, No, this campaign was just for Disneyland, which is why it's Disneyland Space Mountain, Disneyland Sleeping Beauty Castle, Tower of Terror, not the Walt Disney World one, and of course the Haunted Mansion. And of course, who could forget the Snow White's grotto ghost? I sure can't. Well, you get it? Mr. One-Way, Walt's ghost in front of the Haunted Mansion, turns out just a stuntman. Dressed in white with some VFX overlays, you have yourself an easy Disneyland ghost. So yes, it was someone on the inside. These are not real spirits. Of course, Chris didn't do the whole thing by himself. He gives credit to the entire crew in this tweet. Go ahead, follow all of them, because they helped keep this sort of childhood mystique, this sort of millennial, mid-2000s Disney spookiness alive. The Haunted Mansion video, filmed from the top of Pirates of the Caribbean. The Space Mountain video, they were in there for hours with the house lights on. Nothing you see here shows proof of the paranormal at all. It just shows proof of some dedication, hard work, and some good old-fashioned ingenuity to bring some fun into the whole Disneyland mythos. And I, for one, look back fondly on all of these videos and the stir they caused when they were released. Now, to be clear, I don't want you to mistake my debunking, I guess Chris's debunking of these old Disneyland ghost videos as me saying ghosts aren't real and the park isn't haunted. Apparently, you can just ask any cast member who's willing to talk about it if they have any ghost stories, and odds are if they don't, someone they know who also works at the park does. Sitting up on the second floor of the Golden Horseshoe near Freddy's room, right? Alex the Historian. Okay, Alex the Historian actually has a wonderful video talking about a number of ghost stories and experiences they've had in the park. Please be sure to go over to Alex's channel. There's a card right there in the corner. Watch the entire interview. It's very, very spooky. I've heard other hot spots include Walt's apartment, obviously, the basement of Mickey's house in Toontown. Now, I don't know if he's stuck around after the refurbishment since New Toontown is open now, but apparently from time to time you can get some activity down there. But aside from a few alleged photos like this one of the Haunted Mansion, that's obviously a boy, a spectral boy, the crying boy ghost from the Haunted Mansion. But I get why ghost stories are so prevalent at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. They're old, for one, right? Disneyland opened in 1955 and Walt Disney World in 1971. They've been around for a while. And of course, theme parks, especially the Disney parks, are places that are often cited as creepy by children and teenagers, right? It's a Small World, famous worldwide for being creepy with the song and the dolls. Why not make up a ghost story of It's a Small World to tie into all of the creepiness? Leave your mark. Okay, even without the ghosts, okay, Small World is creepy enough. They have to cut the doll's hair. That's real, that's true. It's because of the humidity, but still. But again, this is not me discounting any of the ghost stories that cast members or guests alike have. Is Small World haunted? It could be. I kind of doubt it, but I haven't worked there. I haven't closed It's a Small World. I haven't been alone with the dolls for hours on end in silence and darkness. You never know what someone's going to hear or see. And if you go online to Twitter or to Reddit or even just to different websites like doombuggies.com, there are seemingly endless amounts of stories, and every single corner of the park is spooky and haunted in some way. The Emporium, Big Thunder Mountain, the Matterhorn bobsleds, Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland and Disney World, the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland and Disney World. Even Dinosaur at Disney's Animal Kingdom has a ghost story related to it, although this one sounds curiously similar to the Mr. One-Way story from Disneyland. But that's beside the point. The point is, give me your ghost stories. I want to make a video on a bunch of Disney World and Disneyland ghost stories. I don't care where you were. I don't care what you were doing. I don't care what attraction it is. I want to hear your spooky stories. Please be sure to leave them in the comments down below, and also just on Twitter, anywhere you can get a hold of me, tell me your spooky stories. Especially if you are a cast member. And plus, to add on to that, if you have any photos, any alleged photos of your encounter with a spirit at Disneyland, not the Hatbox Ghost, no animatronic ghosts allowed. Also, please share it with me. You can find ghost stories for just about any location at the Disney park, but photos to go along with them, those are a bit harder. Me, personally, I can't say I've ever had any paranormal experiences at Disneyland or Walt Disney World. You know, riding the mansion with nobody in the doom buggies or the boats in front of or behind you, I can see how it would get a little spooky and the imagination could go a little wild. So whether it's someone who shouldn't have been riding next to you, a face you saw in the window, or maybe some chairs moving on their own, I would love to hear in the comments, or like I said, Twitter, anywhere you can contact me. I will listen, and it may even end up in a video. But the moral of this story is, whether or not you believe in ghosts, you always gotta be a little skeptical, because while these Disneyland ghost videos are seemingly legit, they might have been too good to be true, and as we've discovered in this video, they were too good to be true. They're fake. But maybe somewhere in some obscure corner of Disneyland or Epcot, Hollywood Studios, it doesn't matter, some unexplainable things can happen. And now, my dear viewer, it is up to you to spread the word. Oh wait, this was supposed to be a top 10 video! Well, that was a bust. Welcome everybody to the end card for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. I know the Cantwell tweet was made all the way back in 2020, but I feel like I would just, you know, the Disneyland ghost videos are so sort of prevalent on my channel, even going back to like my second or third ever video, that I just wanted to make one coming clean and showing the facts of the situation. Great job with Cantwell, by the way. Cantwell did a great job, I mean, by the way. This is the end card. If I mess up, we're just gonna power through it. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you want more videos like this, exploring the darker side of Disney, some spookier sides, some ghost stories, hit the like button. And if you're new around here, you want some more videos like this, also, instead of hitting the like button, well, actually, in addition, I should say, to hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button. That way you can get notified when new videos hit the feed. Be sure to follow me on my other social medias at Offhand Disney on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok if you want some more Offhand Disney content that's not here on YouTube. I don't use YouTube Shorts, although I probably should. It might be beneficial, but I don't. And of course, a massive thank you to all of my supporters over at patreon.com/offhanddisney. They are the ones who help keep this channel moving forward, chugging forward like it were the Disneyland Railroad on a rainy day through the tunnel between the Haunted Mansion and the berm. You know the one I'm talking about. Thank you to them. They're amazing, and they will get their credits at the end of this month. If you want to join their ranks also, it's just $1 a month or more, depending on what you want to donate, and you get access to early videos, some rough cuts, audio. It differs from week to week, but you get early access. So thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, and thank you, my friend, whether or not you're a Patreon supporter, for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one, which should be from In the Park Throwback Night. All right, it's gonna be fun. Goodbye.